I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space. So hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
Welcome to our new chamber board chair, Mr. Roger Miller, and we've also, since the last time I talked with you, welcomed 33 new chamber ambassadors and some new board members. So if you're a board member and or a chamber ambassador, if you can raise your hand real quick, can we just say thank you to these folks? We appreciate you and your dedication and your service to the chamber. And with that, if you would join me, and we'll return thanks for our breakfast. Father, we thank you so much for our beautiful new day of life that you've given us today. And again, I pray, Lord, that we would never take one blessing for granted, that we could pause throughout the day, Lord. Your word reminds us to praise you continually. And I pray that we would do that each and every day. Lord, thank you again for our beautiful community to live and learn and work and play. Thank you for the efforts of each one in this room this morning. Continue to lead us and guide us unto your service. And we thank you, Lord, for the meal that's been provided this morning. Bless it to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service. In Christ's name, amen.
It's awfully good to see a large crowd. When you look back, it seemed like it was 2 weeks ago when we had the January breakfast. Time flies so much. I really want to say thank you to Mike and crew at Cracker Barrel for the breakfast. We enjoyed that. Thank you, guys. And I wanted to thank, again, Shepherd Community Blood Center for sponsoring us again, and we're going to hear from Renita in just a minute. I wanted to go ahead and just introduce the 4 speakers that are going to be up next, and that's going to be Matthew Bradshaw with the city, followed by Trey Kemp with the county. Jennifer Bryant, who is our incoming chair for next year, is going to do our chamber talk, after whom we will hear from Renita Carroll from our sponsor, Shepherd Community Blood Center. And if y'all will just come up one behind the other, that would be great. Thank you.
I am Matthew Bradshaw. I'm the engineering director for the City of Dublin. I'm filling in for Josh Powell this morning, the city manager. And I just wanted to give a quick update on our TIA projects that we have going on and some that are coming up. So TIA stands for Transportation Investment Act. And this is the penny sales tax that thankfully everyone approved for the next session. It will be a 10-year from 2023 to 2033. On our 2022 projects before, from 2012 to 2022, I trust that everyone is happy as I am to say that Hillcrest is done. I appreciate, thank you. We appreciate everyone's cooperation in that project. I know it was a large undertaking, but I think it's a great product, and I hope everybody gets to take advantage of it. The last project from the first round of TIA projects is the Stubbs Park project. I don't know if you've been around there, but if you've been anywhere near Stubbs Park, you've probably seen what's going on. A lot of the work is complete. We've got the new signal up at Church and Moore Street, which is a great improvement there. The biggest thing left to do on that project is the roundabout at Claxton-Dairy and Moore Street, which will be a great improvement over the existing geometry of that intersection. So I'm really looking forward to that being done. and that project will be done this year, of course, and that'll finish up the first round. So the next round, they're calling it the TIA 2 round, and there's 3 bands of projects. So the Band 1 project is a new roundabout at the intersection of Claxton Dairy and Woodlawn Drive. You may know this intersection is where the DFAC's office is. It was a 2-way stop. We had a lot of crashes there that were very concerning. So as a stopgap measure, we put in an all-way stop. But really to make it operationally efficient, the best thing there is a roundabout. So that's going to be the first project. The second project is the biggest one and the one I'm most excited about accomplishing, and that is improvements to Industrial Boulevard from end to end. That's from 441 to Highway 80. If you're around Industrial, you know that's the hub of our medical community with the VA on one side, the Fairview Park on the other, and all the doctors' offices around there. And it gets a lot of use, not just from us that live here, but everybody that comes into our community to seek medical services. And especially between Hillcrest and 257, we've got a lot of work to do there to improve that, probably some widening. I'd like to see a roundabout at Walk Dairy and Industrial in place of that all-way stop as well. We haven't started that design yet, but that's just some things we're thinking about. So when that project's over, it's going to be well worth it. And then the final project in the TIA 2 round is the addition of sidewalks on Shamrock Drive, Brookwood Drive, and Brookhaven Drive. Once that's completed, there'll be a complete loop between those 3 streets and Hillcrest with that project being done. And I live in that area, and I see a lot of people exercising, walking up down the street, and I'm glad to see people out enjoying our city, but it's not safe to be in the street, so I think that's going to be a good project for safety and quality of life in Dublin. So we've got 10 years to get them done, and we've got a lot of work to do, and we're already getting started, and look forward to getting those projects done. If anybody ever has any questions about the projects, what's coming up or working on, feel free to give me a call or Josh, and we'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Call Mr. Appliance for speedy expert service. Or your appliance is not performing correctly, call 309-5960. Mr. Appliance of Dublin is your go-to company for dependable quality appliance service. Our experts are committed to delivering exceptional results in a timely manner, whether you need repairs, replacement parts, or general maintenance. Technicians are available on your schedule and always provide courteous, respectful, and quality work every time. Our technicians always explain and ensure understanding so you'll never encounter surprise fees. Trust Mr. Appliance for residential and commercial repair, service, and maintenance. Call 309-5960. That's 309-5960. 309-5960. Serving Dublin and the surrounding area. Mr. Appliance and Speedy Expert Service, a locally owned and operated franchise. Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Good morning, y'all. Matthew said some good stuff about TIA. We are fixing to do SPLOS right behind the TIA that recently got approved. I think, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but SPLOS is probably, in my opinion, one of the fairest taxes that we have. We put in that 1 cent for sales tax, and so does everyone else who comes to Lawrence County and shops in Lawrence County. As a regional hub, that's fantastic for our ability to generate revenue for the people in Lawrence County exclusively. So that's going to be coming up before the end of the year. Also, I got some information a couple of days ago regarding a new law enforcement fund, and this is pretty awesome. So the state is going to now allow individuals and businesses, instead of paying state tax at the end of the year, your income tax, you can deviate a portion of that tax to your local law enforcement fund. And so for individuals, that's up to $5,000. For businesses, that's $10,000. So instead of giving that money to the state for whatever they're going to use it for, you can keep it here for the full operational capacity of the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office. And so we're going to be starting that up, I hope, this year for the next tax cycle. So you guys can hopefully choose to keep a lot of that money local, and that would help fund the sheriff's office in a way that they have never seen before. For the county, that takes up probably 3/4 of our entire budget. So that will help assuage the tax burden for taxpayers here in Lawrence County. So I'm very excited about that. I'm sure the newspaper will be reporting on that at some point in the future, but be looking for that in the future. Thank y'all.
It's February, so that means March is upon us, so I hope everyone is getting their green ready. We have our 39th annual Irish Chamber Breakfast coming up, and this is an official St. Patrick's event. That event will be Tuesday, March 14th, beginning at 7:30 at the Dublin Country Club. And again, that is sponsored by Morris Bank. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. Tables and tickets are now available, and I do believe this was a sold-out event last year, so you want to go ahead, contact the chamber, or make a reservation through the website to go ahead and reserve your table. They're going quickly already, so make sure you get yours today, and the speaker will be announced soon. So go ahead and see Malia or Paige or Ruth Ellen before you leave today. Contact them soon or on the website, because tables are already going quickly. All right, thank you so much, and have a good day.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Renita Carroll, and I am the new Director of Community Resources for Shepherd Community Blood Center. So I'm a new face amongst the crowd. I'm not a stranger to Dublin. I am familiar with the city, but thank you all for having us today. Thank you all for having me. And thank you all, most of all, for welcoming Shepherd and the Shepherd family into the Dublin community. This year has been amazing. We've hit the ground running, and we've been off to an amazing start. I'm sure most of you are aware we do have our blood center location on South Jefferson Street next to Saltwater. Casey is our team lead in the Dublin Center. But one of the new and growing initiatives that we have with Shepherd is that we do have our mobile team. So we do have the ability, for folks to donate in center, but also for us to bring blood donation to you and the opportunity to donate on site. So we do have the blood mobile, as well as the ability to set up blood drives inside on location. So we do have slots available in our drive calendar for those who might be interested in hosting us. We'd love to be able to come out on site. And one of the big things I like to remind folks about blood donation is it takes less than 45 minutes. It takes less than an hour. So if you've got a lunch break, pop by the center and donate. Have the mobile on site. Your team members, your staff, your customers. It takes less than an hour of time to save 3 lives. Every blood donation saves 3 local lives in the community. So please keep that in mind. But thank you again for welcoming us, and this has been an amazing year. And I'm new, but I look forward to working with all of you. If you have any questions, if you would like to partner with us, I'd love to hear more about St. Patty's festivities happening over this next month. Then feel free to reach out to us. The cards are on the table in the mugs, so please feel free to give us a call. But I can't thank you guys enough for welcoming us and for having us, and I look forward to working with each of you. So.
At Central Georgia Primary Care, we are dedicated to improving your health and quality of life throughout Lawrence County with state-of-the-art facilities. We are your one-stop shop for all things health care, and there's a location near you no matter where you live. Central Georgia Primary Care is located at 406 Central Drive in East Dublin and just off Hillcrest, at 101 Mercer Drive, and in Dublin at 230 Industrial Boulevard. North, south, east, or west, there's a Central Georgia Primary Care centrally located near you.
Hey, I got bad reception, but the boys did such a great job letting our friends know about the chip shortage and ordering their vehicles. Now I just need the vehicles to come in. I don't want to end up with pie in my face.
I want pie in my face.
Lost them.
Wow, look at all the new vehicles.
Ordering works after all.
You got pie now. Others call you customers. We call you friends.
That's Dublin Ford Lincoln.
Hometown Supply has what you need to make your home more comfortable. Hometown Supply has electric and kerosene heaters, and they sell kerosene fuel too. From plumbing supplies to paint, batteries to tires, cold weather can kill that old car battery, so Hometown Supply is loaded up with just about every size battery for almost every size car. And Hometown Supply has a great selection of new and recap tires.
If you can't do business here, you just can't do business.
Our program for this morning is going to be from Ryan Waldrep, and let me give you a little bit of information about Ryan. Most everybody knows Ryan in this room, I would suspect, but Ryan currently serves as president of the Dublin-Lawrence County Development Authority. He's been a certified economic developer since 2006. His membership affiliations include the Georgia Economic Development Association and the International Economic Development Council. Ryan is a graduate of Leadership Georgia and has served as a program chair in 2019. A native of McRae, Ryan holds an MPA in Public Management and a BFA in Speech Communication, which is Public Relations, both of which came from Valdosta State University. Ryan resides in Dublin with his wife Amanda and his two sons Adam and Ethan. If y'all will help me welcome Ryan.
Thank y'all for having me this morning. I appreciate it. Always glad to get to come out and talk about the Development Authority, what we're working on in terms of industrial development, in terms of property development and community development, what's going on and how we're able to help improve some of those things. I'm really excited to hear some of the improvements that Matthew talked about, some of the things that Trey talked about, because all of those things play into quality of life. Quality of life is so important when we're talking to industries, whether it's an industry that's considering locating here in Dublin, locating here in Dublin and Lawrence County, or one of our existing industries that's considering an expansion. Quality of life is one of those top things. So to hear all the great things that are going on and the work that our city leaders are putting into this, that our county leaders are putting into this, and all of us as citizens in Dublin and Lawrence County are investing time and effort into ways that we can improve our community, really helps us at the Development Authority, helps Beth and me and our board of directors do our job to bring great quality jobs to Dublin and to Lawrence County. Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on. So we're getting requests all the time from companies. People ask me, say, Ryan, are people interested in Dublin? Are they interested in Lawrence County? And the short answer is yes, they are very interested. And you can see, these are just some of the sectors that are interested in the industry sectors that are interested in us here in Dublin and Lawrence County today. We've got automotive, we've got battery, of course, with the revolution of EV and those new electric vehicles. That's a whole new supply chain. That's a whole new economic ecosystem there. So we're seeing a lot of activity with that. We're seeing a lot continued activity in advanced manufacturing and in construction materials. We have a tremendous sector that produces materials that go into the construction industry. So that's really great to see that continuing to grow. Food and beverage continues to grow, especially because of the infrastructure that we have in place from water, sewer, and natural gas. Logistics and distribution playing off of Interstate 16 and the trucks and cars that come up and down the road here, being able to get material in through the port of Savannah and up to major markets, whether it's Atlanta and beyond. We're a great location for that. And now even we're seeing corporate office and back office solutions. Being able to utilize the internet ring, the fiber ring that the Duck City has, those great internet speeds. We're seeing people saying and companies saying, hey, we can do our job from anywhere. Let's find a great rural location outside of the metro rat race, so to speak, where you've got all the congestion and a lot of other issues going on there maybe. Let's find a great place where our employees will have a great quality of life, where they'll be able to spend lots of good time with their family and be able to make a good mark in a community. Let's look at places just like Dublin. Well, some of the things that we've done over the last several years is we've taken a look at our property and we've inventoried it. And as a development authority, we're extremely blessed. We own 660 acres. And a couple of pieces of property get a lot of attention. We'll talk about one of those in a few minutes. But 660 acres, that's a lot of land. So what we did was we started taking a good look at our property. We started inventorying them and saying, all right, what areas have the greatest potential for industrial location? What has the greatest potential for industrial growth right now based on infrastructure, based on transportation access, and a few other factors? So we identified 3 pieces of property that we thought we could improve pretty quickly. And so this is one. This is at the corner of Academy Extension and US Highway 441 bypass, right next door to Denix. This was what it looked like at the end of 2020. So you've got some scrub brush, you got some oaks, you got some volunteer pines, you guys got some stuff that started growing up. We converted it to that. Now that makes an impressive site when an industry comes and looks, or a small business comes and looks and says, okay, I can envision my facility here. I've got a great industrial neighbor next door to me. I've got a great industrial neighbor with YKK right across the street. I can see my facility right here. I can see the property lines. I can see where the water line is, where the sewer line is, where the natural gas line is. I can see how to get my cars and trucks onto the highway. This helps us market that site. The next site that we looked at was our Entrepreneur and Small Business Park. We had another 55-acre piece of property that was right across the bypass from YKK. We had an industry that's already committed to locating there, so they were the very first group in there that cleared off about 5 acres, so we're excited to see them hopefully come out of the ground with the building before too much longer. But we said we need something. We need something to help us improve speed to market on this site. And speed to market is the phrase that pays, if y'all remember the old adage from the radio stations back in the day, the phrase that pays for economic development today. How fast can I get my building underway? How fast can I be in operation? So we looked at this 55-acre piece of property and said, you know, if we had a water line, and if we had a sewer line, and if we had a road that went through this piece of property or went into the interior of this piece of property, it would help us be able to market this for entrepreneurs and for small businesses. Because we're going to talk about big businesses in a few minutes and kind of what some of their needs are. But our small businesses, they have the very same needs. They don't want to have to pay necessarily for all the infrastructure that goes in the ground. They don't want to have to worry about time with site development and how do you make that happen. So we took that burden off of them. We took that time out of their schedule. And working with the One Georgia Authority, we received a grant for $500,000. Working with Josh Christian and Brian Ellington here in Dublin, we developed the design of this park, developed the design of the infrastructure, and got that infrastructure constructed and in the ground. So you're seeing right now that's an investment of about $711,000 into economic development property within Dublin and Lawrence County. The bulk of that was paid for by the state of Georgia. The rest of it was paid for with SPLOST dollars. Thank you, Commissioner Kemp, for that. That was great. So being able to use those SPLOST dollars for economic development purposes, again, helps us be able to provide great economic development resources. So this is a recent photo as of just a couple of days ago. We actually were, over the Christmas holidays, were able to get that property cleared. So again, removing more time, removing more burden from our entrepreneurs and small business. So hopefully some grass will start to sprout up before long and that kind of stuff. But at least you can tell it was last week too because the sky was blue. We've had a little bit of rain this week. But you can see it's a great road. This is a view from Honeysuckle Road looking down into the interior of the park. So really, again, that property is nice, it's cleared, and it's ready to go for growth of our small business and our entrepreneur community. But I think this is probably what y'all came to hear, right? Can I get an amen on that? So our Georgia Highway 257 site, everybody rides by 257. I get phone calls every day just about, hey, what's going on there? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? Is it going to be something else? Well, what I can tell you this morning is probably all those things that you've seen on Facebook or social media probably aren't going to happen there. I don't think it's going to be a water park. I think that was the first one that we saw was a water park. Maybe today, you might be able to do that. But this property, it actually started back in 2019 when I started. We had a planning session the afternoon that the Development Authority Board hired me. And one of the things we talked about was GRAD, Georgia Ready for Accelerated Development. And what that means is that a community would go through and do all the due diligence that an industry might need to help ensure that they're able to get on the site, get on the property, and get going as quickly as humanly possible. Now, that sounds like it's an easy feat to do. So we started that, and for a lot of folks it is. It was not very difficult for us to even go through this process. But in April of 2020, we were designated as the very first Georgia Ready for Accelerated Development select site. And that's a big deal for us. That's a really, really big deal because there are less than 70 grad sites in the entire state of Georgia. So really it puts us in really, really rare air, so to speak. But here's what that looks like. This is my roadmap. This binder represents the summaries of all of those reports that had to be done. But when we're able to hand this to an industrial project and say, here's our homework, here's what we've done to ensure that you're going to be able to get started with your project on this site as quickly as possible, that speaks volumes because they love it. They love being able to have all our environmental reports, all of our surveys, all the assessments, all of that's ready to go. And they're able to take advantage of that. So that's really good. That's great. So we accomplished that in 2019. But we realized we needed to do a little bit more. There was an extra step. There was something else that we needed to do. And that involved the development of a master plan. We knew we had a special site. We knew we were one of less than 70 sites in the state of Georgia that could claim that grad certification. We knew we were special from that standpoint, and we were really, really making some great strides from that standpoint. But we needed a little bit more. So we started working with an engineering firm, Hussey Gay Bell, to help us develop 3 main things. The first thing that they helped us do was they helped us develop a master plan. What could this site look like? What does the concept look like? But then we also asked them to go an extra step for us and say, all right, we've got a master plan. We know what it can look like, so we've got that piece taken care of. But what would it take to get us from a raw piece of property with trees, with terrain challenges and terrain questions, with lack of infrastructure on the site? What do we need to do to turn this from a raw piece of property to a piece of property that is really a state-of-the-art industrial site within not only the state of Georgia, but within the southeastern U.S.? So that was the second thing we did. The third thing is, as we were doing this, the pandemic was raging. We had a lot of meetings that were done virtually. We had a lot of meetings that were not in person. We knew that we had to be able to market this site in a way that either in person, hopefully we'd be able to get back to before long, like we are today, or be able to market this site virtually. We knew we'd have to be able to talk with projects, online on Zoom and Teams and all those other fun places, excuse me, to be able to do that. So, one of the things that they helped us do was the creation of this video. So a couple of key takeaways from that. One is we knew we had to be able to show our community, show some of the cool things that were going on in our community, some of the great assets that we have, such as our healthcare environment, such as industries that are close to that site. Again, be able to show that to individuals, show that to projects, whether we're presenting in a room like this or whether we're presenting in that virtual space and that virtual environment. The second thing that we also knew that we had to do was be able to have a video, to have a concept that language was not an issue. We're talking to a lot of different international companies where English may not be their first language. So to be able to have that information out there so they're not having to try to translate, to have to worry about anything like that is really great as well. So that's why some of the things in there are the way that they are. But where we are is an update on that. If you've been by the site, you know that it's changed dramatically since June of last year. We've been able to clear that entire site. We've been able to start with a lot of rough grading to be able to take out some of the highest of the hilltops and remove some of the lowest of the valleys through that site. And back late summer, we had a project, and this was even before a lot of the grading started, a lot of just the clearing had happened, had a project that came on the site, and the first thing this person said was, wow, it does not take a lot to imagine my facility sitting on this site. And that's what we're after. We're after the fact of being able to have industries come out there, have projects come out there and look at the site, and they can immediately visualize their facilities sitting there. They don't have to worry about trees. They don't have to worry about anything along those lines. So all in all, just to kind of give you an idea of what's happening out there after the clearings happen, we're moving more than 700,000 cubic yards of dirt. That is a lot of dirt that's being moved. Total cost about $4.8 million in clearing and grading cost. Again, thank you, Lawrence County, for the SPLOST. That's tremendous because that's helping us do that. So as my parents come up from McRae to spend money, all of our great travelers up and down I-16 coming here, spending money, stopping and eating at the restaurants and shopping downtown and our other great locations, all those funds are coming in to help with community improvements such as sites like this. So this is really great. But again, remember, I talked about speed to market a few minutes ago. So speed to market is really what we're all about. The work that we've done, even take out the fact of all this due diligence that took a significant amount of time and a significant amount of effort to get done. Once you start talking about the extra steps that we've done, such as a traffic study, such as the clearing, the grading, the permitting, all of that, you take all those different things into account. Our site, the Georgia Highway 257 rail served site, is 19 months ahead of another site. So that means that an industry coming in, they can start building their building 19 months faster on our site than in other sites across the southeastern U.S. and across the country. Time is money. If you've got a business, you understand that really, really, really well. So that's one of the things that we've definitely tried to do. 19 months, that's a tremendous, tremendous advantage for us. So this is what the site looked like in June, if you remember. A lot of trees on the site. There was some trees on the front, a lot in the back. This drone footage was taken back at the end of October. It's the very last couple of days of October by our friends over at Georgia Power. And so a lot still has changed in this. In fact, you can see all of this darker dirt, that's dirt that's just unsuitable for development. We got to move it. We had to move it out of the way. So we're using this dirt to build a berm back here in this back corner. There's a neighborhood back there. So that berm will help shield that neighborhood from any sound and sight, coming from the industrial area. So providing a good neighbor, hopefully, for those folks there. That berm work is about 85% complete. We've moved about 85% of all this dark dirt. Coming up this way, there you can see kind of a ridge right through here. In some places, that ridge is going to be removed still yet, and that's going on right now. You can kind of see some of the work from the highway, about 10 feet down. That dirt's going to be moved back over where all this darker dirt was, and that area is going to be not only filled in, but then brought up another several feet on top of. All in all, we're looking at over a third of that site will have less than a 2% grade. So that is really a very, very, very flat piece of property that, again, industries are going to be able to come in and say, you've saved me time, you've saved me effort. The other great thing is because of our permitting that we've done, industries are actually going to be able to get started on this site in about 2 weeks after they let the state of Georgia know they want to do something. So you're talking about being able to put your own equipment and industry's own equipment on site in about 2 weeks. That is fantastic. That is a phenomenal phenomenal advantage. Well, we talk about all these great things. We talk about all the stuff that we're doing to promote our area for industrial growth, for expansions, for new locations and all that. And someone, I guarantee you right now in the back of your mind is thinking, Ryan, where are these people going to come from to work? Right? We got to get people here to work. Well, this is a map that we put together. We worked with the University of Georgia and the Carl Vinson Institute of Government to realize and figure out exactly where people are driving from every day. So we know we've got a lot of great people that are traveling through to be, tourist and visitor activity coming through Dublin. But from our industry sector, from our employers, we're attracting people from up to 60 minutes away. So that's Macon, that's Warner Robins. In some cases, that's Forsyth, all the way down to Statesboro, Milledgeville, McRae, Eastman, Cochran, all those surrounding areas. If it's a red or green county, that's where people are driving from right now to come to work here in Dublin and Lawrence County. That's a tremendous area. But here's our opportunity. We've got about 6,700 people that get up, that live in Lawrence County, that work in Lawrence County in the private sector. We've got another 6,900 people that live in another community that drive in, that commute into Dublin every single day. 6,900 people. That's great. But our big opportunity is this number right here. 7,971. Those are the people that live in Lawrence County. They get up in the morning, they get dressed, they eat breakfast, tell their loved ones goodbye, and they go somewhere else to work. 8,000 people. That's our opportunity. By us being able to attract new industries to the area, by us being able to work with our existing industries to create those great new job opportunities for our employees and for our residents here in the community, we're going to be able to get some of those people to stay home. That's the group we're trying to attract. That's the group that we're really going after, is how do we get them to stay here, because they miss time by commuting, you miss time with family, you miss time with loved ones. So one thing that we're doing, our new initiative this year at the Development Authority, is our talent attraction campaign. And it really has a couple of phases to it. One is we're marketing Dublin, Lawrence County to individuals that are not here already, trying to convince them to say, hey, Dublin's a great place, Lawrence County's a great place, great quality of life, great places to work. Here are job opportunities that are available right now in our community, and being able to market our community across the country. The second area, though, is really marketing to our internal group, marketing to folks that already live here in the community. How do we get them, again, to stay here, to work here at some of these job opportunities? Because, of course, as we attract more people to the area, it's going to help us with other areas like retail. So one of the great cool things that we've done this year is the development of a new job website. So we revamped our job posting board. This is now done completely and totally with artificial intelligence. So we've got 30 companies that are listed on this job board, and this screenshot was taken yesterday. 253 job opportunities right now in Dublin and Lawrence County in manufacturing, in healthcare, education, and service. So we've got a lot of really good opportunities. You can go to that website right now at careers.dlcda.com. Heath will get that to y'all so y'all can send that out maybe as a follow-up from this morning's meeting. But people can go online, they can click on a job that they may be interested in, and it takes you straight to that company's hiring page. Very quick, very easy to take advantage of, and that kind of thing. So we talked about a lot of things that are going on. We talked about some things that we've done at the Development Authority to help improve our ability to bring new jobs to the community, help our existing industries grow and expand. And we talked a little bit about workforce. But there's other work that still needs to be done. There's other conversations that are happening. And in fact, we talked with our Lawrence Youth Leadership class a couple of weeks ago. And that group of high school students, they brought these very same questions up. And us as adults, we're wrestling with, what do we do with some of these? How do we answer some of these questions? And it's really interesting to hear the youth ask these very same questions, because they ask questions about housing. We bring in new people, where are they going to live? They talked about transportation. Not everybody has access to a car. In fact, almost half of the counties in Lawrence County have access to either 0 or 1 car, which means that a lot of people may be a flat tire or a dead battery away from going to work or going to school for the day. So that's a big challenge, is transportation. And the third area that these students brought up, and again, something that we've been talking about, and I know our community leaders are talking about as well, childcare, affordable childcare. And how, we create some different ways to create childcare and affordable childcare. We open up a whole new demographic of individuals that may be able to come to work. And these are issues that our industries are seeing, our service providers are seeing, our restaurants are seeing. We're seeing these issues and questions across the board. So a lot of great things are going on at the Development Authority. We've still got a lot of great work that still has to be done. We appreciate the work that our city leaders are doing, that our county leaders are doing, our chamber leaders are doing, and that our board of directors of the Development Authority are doing as well to help plant this vision, create this vision, and help us be able to continue to move forward, because at the end of the day, it's all about bringing great quality jobs to Dublin and Lawrence County. So thank y'all, appreciate the opportunity to be able to come and visit with y'all today, and y'all hope y'all have a great day.
The holidays are over and we're open for business here at Dublin Nissan. Whether it's the Armada or the Rogue, we want you to come experience the thrill of the drive. With our inventory selection growing every day, we're looking for our best year ever in 2023.
Only Dublin Nissan has this winning lineup. From the Frontier to the Rogue to the Sentra. Pick your color, pick your options.
Henrietta sells cars well.
David sells cars well. And remember, go Dogs.
From humble beginnings with a desire to serve the Dudley community, Bank of Dudley has grown to 5 locations, serving Lawrence, Twiggs, and surrounding counties. Serving our community since 1905, the Bank of Dudley is looking forward to its 2nd century of community banking. Drop in today to any of our 5 locations: Jeffersonville, Dudley, East Dublin, Veterans Boulevard, and downtown Dublin. Bank of Dudley, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Brandy, and I would like to invite you to experience our newly renovated mammography suite at the Fairview Park Hospital Breast Center. Our breast center has its own dedicated entrance with a relaxing boutique-like waiting area. You can make your appointment online anytime at fairviewparkhospital.com or by calling 478-274-3919. Most appointments take 30 minutes or less, and we will have your results back to your doctor within 24 hours.